Improvising is just composing in real time, and composing is just improvising with a pause button. Hey there and welcome back to another video. So many times we can get lost in the chords and licks and harmonic ideas that sometimes we forget about one of the main, and some people say the most important elements of improvisation, and that's melody. In this video, I'm going to teach you one of the best ways to get more melodic when you're soloing, and no, it doesn't have to do with voice leading or playing the coolest licks or anything like that. What I'm going to be teaching you is how to use the original melody to guide you to write your own melody, to then embellish that melody, to then create your own very melodic solos without just guessing and throwing things against the wall and hoping they stick. Like always, there is a PDF worksheet download that you're going to get completely free. The only thing you need to do is to go to davepollack.com/yourmelody, YOUR melody. I'm also going to put that link at the top of the description down below and in the pinned comment. I really want you to download it so you have it at all times available to you. And without any further ado, I'm going to jump inside right now. Here we go. All right, so as you see, we're inside of the PDF. Now it just says Solar because that is the standard that I'm going to be using today. But with this process, you can go through it with any song that you're working on, so don't feel like it has to be over this specific song. This is one single PDF worksheet that contains all of the different instruments on it. So if you see here, we have C instruments, so treble, clef, concert, pitch, and you scroll down, there's a single page for that, a second page for that. Then we get to E flat instruments, 2 pages for that. B flat instruments, 2 pages for that. And finally, bass clef, 2 pages for that. So when you download it, you'll get all of this. And then when you look at it, make sure you're just looking at the right one for your instrument. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to be looking at the concert pitch treble clef because I don't know what instrument you're playing, and I figured this would be the widest net that I can cast for all of you. The process, like I outlined very quickly in the beginning, is going to be taking the original melody and then having that guide us write our own melody, and I'm going to explain how to do that in a second, and then embellish it and go forward. So the first thing you're going to want to do when learning any song and really talking about improvising and composing and how to combine these together is to learn the original melody. That's the melody of the song. I believe it's very important to learn the melody. I actually have something. I have a surprise for just you. Don't tell anybody else. So many of you have asked about learning melodies and how to learn standards, and do you have a process for doing it? The answer is yes, and I actually wrote, filmed, and edited an entire new course called How to Learn Jazz Standards. That's going to be coming out next month, September 2024. I'm going to be giving you a lot more information as we get closer to the launch date of that. I'm so incredibly excited about this, and I know it's going to help so many of you out there who want to get better at just learning standards in different ways and really a systematic process to go through it so you're not wasting time. So like I said, stay tuned for that. It's coming next month. As I'm filming this in August 2024, it'll be out in September 2024, but shh, don't tell anybody else. So what I'm going to do now is just play the melody of Solar. Here we go. All right, once you have the melody of the original song down, now we want to talk about how do we improvise over it. And there's a million ways to go about it, and I've gone over a million ways here. I have my simple steps course on it. I have all this different stuff. What I'm going to say is I want you to at least know what the chord tones are of each chord. In this process today, you're going to need to know some of the harmony of the song to then apply what I'm going to be talking about. So these are the chord tones for all the chords in this song. I'm not going to go over how I came about them. I have videos about ultimate chord guide and every single chord written out and how to go through chord tones, check the playlist in the description below for the jazz improvisation playlist. It'll give you all this information about how I came across all these chords, what they mean, all that different stuff. But these are the chord tones for solar. Once you kind of know what the chords are, and you don't have to be perfect with every little thing, here's where we actually start getting into melodic playing. If you look on the next page, you see something that says My Melody. So this is my melody that I wrote over Solar. How did I come up with this melody? Well, I did one main thing, and I want you to look at it right now. What do you notice about this melody? This one compared to this one. There's the original. There's mine. It could be really quick, but the one thing you hopefully will notice is that the rhythms are the exact same. In the course, How to Learn Jazz Standards, that's coming out next month, I will go through a bunch of different processes to get you to different points of creating your own melodies and improvising and how to learn jazz standards really well. This is just one piece of it that I'm teaching you here in this video. So this is called writing out your own melody using the original rhythms, but you're going to use your own notes. What notes should you use? Well, if you're not super advanced with different harmonic concepts and you can't just do it on the fly, that's why I gave you the chord tones. The chord tones are always going to be safe bets for the notes to play. But remember, I always say notes don't equal music. So sure, that's a good guide for the harmony to get through. You need to know your chord tones. But if you want to go further than that, you can use that as a safety net. What I did is I created my own melody using chord tones, but then I do some other color tones in here as well. But I use the exact rhythms of the original melody. And that's what I want you to do. First, before we get on to you doing your own solo and you doing your own melody and all that, I want you to listen to this melody and see if you can kind of hear the original melody in your head while you're listening to it. So you might need to listen to this a couple times, but here we go with my melody over Solar. So what I want you to do is exactly what I just did. Take this song and write yourself a new melody using the original rhythms. You're going to look and literally use the exact rhythms of the melody, but you're going to change up the notes in your own way. One of the reasons this is so effective is because if I just say, well, just write any melody, paralysis by analysis. You have any choice of any rhythm, any rest, any note at any time. That's like saying, go into the kitchen and make anything to impress me. Sure, if you're a seasoned chef, you're going to be able to do that. But if you have 8,000 choices of spices and everything, it's going to be a little overwhelming. So when you stick to the original rhythms, that is the guide. That's kind of like the handcuffs that I put on you and say, these are the parameters you have to follow, but you can get creative with some of the notes. Once again, if you're a little unsure about note choices, use the chord tones. They will guide you through it. What I did here is actually gave you a blank sheet. Well, it's not an entire sheet, but it's a blank chorus where you can write out your own melody. I got rid of the rest. I got rid of the notes. All I put were the chord changes above each measure. So what I want you to do is you could print out this sheet and write your own melody. If you want to just, go on Sibelius, Finale, or whatever and write your own there, that's fine. But I just wanted to give this to you so you have it. You don't have to create it yourself. Once you create your own melody, what do you do with it? Do you just play that melody now and say, well, I wrote out my own melody. I composed my own melody, and that's all I'm going to play when I play this song, chorus after chorus after chorus? No, that's not what I'm saying. What you're going to do now, once you know the original melody, you wrote out your own melody, you're going to embellish your own melody. There are a bunch of different ways to embellish melodies. Once again, in that course that's coming up, I talk about very specific ways to do it. So more on that later. What you're going to do is basically use your own melody as a guideline to improvise with. Why is this so important and why is this so impactful? Think about it. If you embellish the original melody, you might sound like the original melody and people go, oh, you're sort of embellishing the original melody. If you go to improvise over Solar and you had already written your own melody like a contrafact, and now in real time you're embellishing what you had previously written, nobody is going to know that you're embellishing something that is written, even though it was by you. People just think you're improvising in a nice melodic way. How is that going to be melodic? Well, you know that you wrote a melody based on the original rhythms. You know that you use chord tones and other good notes. You know that that melody works because you hit that pause button and you composed a new melody, which is just improvising, like with a pause button, which I said in the very beginning. You took the time to make sure it works to your liking, but because you wrote it and then you're embellishing something you wrote, now we're like, 2-3 degrees of separation away from the original melody. It's not going to sound like the original melody because you're embellishing your own melody. So, what does it sound like when I embellish my own melody? Have a listen. How cool is that? This is a great way to start bridging the gap between learning melodies and really being able to improvise in a melodic way. Sure, I talk about voice leading, and that's a great way to play melodic solos, but when you really think about when I say melodic solos, I'm saying you're creating melodies on the spot. So many of you have reached out to me and said, yeah, I can do some voice leading, I can play some lines, I can play chord tones, but I have trouble really making coherent melodic solos. Can you help me? Here you go. Not only is this video going to help you, and this is one small part about how to play melodic solos and how to learn melodies, but like I said in the beginning, and remember, this is just between us, don't tell anybody. Next month, I have an entire course coming out about how to learn jazz standards. I'm so incredibly excited for you to see this because it's going to answer so many questions that you've had. I asked a lot of you on my email list, other places, what do you have trouble with when learning jazz standards? And I got so many responses. This course addresses those responses and all the main pain points that you're feeling when you come across new songs to learn. So I'm incredibly excited for that. Once again, that's going to be September 2024. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really want you to create your own melodies. If you don't do it on Solar, that's okay, but I would really like you to create your own melody where you write it out, you compose it, and then you embellish it, and then come back to this video and comment and let me know how it worked out for you. Because it's great if I just give you the information, but I'd like to hear the results. Did it work for you? Did it not work for you? Was it easy? Was it hard? I guarantee if you go through the process, learn the original melody, write your own melody, embellish your own melody, when you actually then go to improvise, even if you're not really thinking about your melody that you wrote or even your embellishment of your melody, the fact that you went through that process is going to internalize everything so much better for you, and you're going to play more melodically because you've been thinking about melodies. That actually works. Let me know what other topics related to improvisation or learning songs you'd like to see me cover, and I'll make videos here on YouTube for you. Put those requests in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.